Welcome back, Buffs, to a new episode of BTV. I'm Savannah, and today we'll be talking to you about the new update on the LGBT policy, and Connor bringing you an update on winter sports. There's been a buzz about the new administration, and here we have Sam to tell us all about it.
After a brief absence, Mr. Creighton is back roaming the halls of Southeast.
Fifth administrator was added to Southeast to help out with the numbers that they have, and so I was summoned back here to Southeast.
Although Mr. Creighton is back, he will only be here at Southeast for this semester.
I will return back to Northwest where I was located earlier, and then a fifth administrator will be added here at Southeast.
Southeast is one of the largest schools in Kansas with over 2,000 students. The fifth assistant principal is going to help meet the needs for Southeast's growing population.
We needed some additional allocation in order to help make sure that we could provide the services that our students need, our parents need, and our community needs, and not overtax the staff members that we have here.
While he is not going to be here for long, Mr. Creighton looks forward to being back with the Buffs.
I'm out and about in the hallways, and I'm here in the office here. I think this is the White Office here. So.
Although we are getting a fifth assistant principal, the same 4 counselors will be the same. Make sure to talk to Mr. Creighton in the White Office if you need him. For BTV, I'm Sam Greer.
Thanks, Sam. And as she mentioned, there will still be 4 counselors. However, the alpha lettering has changed to the following. A through C is Dr. Hatfield. D through H is Mr. Henning. I through M is Mr. Creighton. N through R is Mr. Holbrook. S through Z is Mr. Nelson. In episode 2, we discussed the new LGBT policy, and today we bring you an update on the policy. The board came out in favor of the policy and has put out a statement that it should be finalized by next fall. At their December meeting, the Board of Education released a statement that now includes sexual orientation and gender identity under the list of protected classes. The BUE president, Cheryl Logan, says she's satisfied with the process. In an email interview, Ms. Logan said, "This has been a thoughtful process, allowing the time for the community and staff to be heard, the best decision to be made. I feel we are able to hear concerns and therefore develop a statement that works for the majority. Since the vote in December, there has been very little concern or discussion." The statement will be brought back to the board in February or March. If the statement goes through, it will be put into action starting next year. Those here at Southeast who have been pushing for this change are glad the policy may be changing soon.
I am thrilled. It was a battle, so the fact that we actually got it passed is amazing. One of the biggest things is for teachers to actually come out and say, "I support you, I am an ally."
But it's really for the well-being of your students. If the LGBT community has a specified thing in student policies and school board policies, then they won't be able to ignore it.
The statement the board released reads, "Wichita Public Schools is committed to ensuring an environment that is free of discrimination and to fostering a climate in which all employees and students may participate, contribute, and grow to their fullest potential. Harassment and disciplinary treatment will not be permitted or condoned in Wichita Public Schools. Wichita Public Schools does not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, religion, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, age, veteran status, or other legal protected classifications in its programs and activities." It's good to see the board moving in such a positive direction. Speaking of changes, have you heard of the new social justice class? Well, we have Alea to tell us all about it.
In America, citizens are being inspired every day by climate change, race movements, and gender movements. For the first time this year, students are granted the opportunity to learn about their community in the new social justice class.
When I was in college, we were exposed to some classes that kind of pushed your perspective and made you think about different things outside of your own community. So once I started to investigate and learn about that, it was something I became passionate about, and I wanted to share those experiences with my students and get them to start thinking about that as well.
I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to be in a classroom with people that are also interested in talking about this stuff and just educating other people about it.
Social justice covers various types of topics.
As simple as race issues, like Black Lives Matter movement, gender issues, Me Too movement, It can be global warming, so all sorts of things that kind of affect people and make life more difficult, more challenging for different groups. So it just kind of depends on issues that you care about and that affect different people.
Most people do not broaden their perspectives and see how they are affected by decisions and actions.
Different laws, different things are being passed every day in Topeka and Washington, D.C. that do impact our communities, are policed by different police forces. Climate change causes flooding and various things in our community that do have an impact on us.
With social justice having a huge impact, Tabor Morris boils it down to one thing.
Justice really just means, like, what is the person, like, every day going to do in order to help society.
For BTV, I'm Elia Brown.
Thanks, Leah. And if you haven't heard of the announcements, or if you haven't seen the light poles on the ground, Southeast is having issues with the light poles falling in the parking lots. As of Friday, January 10th, the west parking lots were actually closed until further notice. Turns out the walls on the lights weren't very stable. Throughout the week, we have seen crews checking and taking down light poles around the school to increase our safety in the parking lots. Looks like my grades aren't the only things falling this semester. Our own Jessica Tall got second place in the Congressional App Challenge with her sleep tracking app. As a result, she met with State Representative John Estes. Great job, Jessica. On January 18th, Southeast Model UN had their simulation meeting to practice for the WSU meeting. A couple of our students got awards. Best Delegate, Esther Almufimi. Honorable mentions, Donovan Powell, Alicia Harper, Tony Lee, Joseph Kelly, Caitlin Jamul, and then position paper, Brenda Martinez Lopez. On January 13th, Southeast hosted their annual 8th grade orientation. The 8th graders were given a presentation by Mr. Dieterding about what to expect for next year, seeing the different extracurricular clubs and sport programs that Southeast has to offer. Have you ever tried to solve a Rubik's Cube? Could you do it in 4 seconds? We found someone who could.
You may not even know it's a sport, but freshman Aaron Wynn is a cubing champion and is one of the best in the country. The rules of cubing are fairly simple. It involves a touch-sensitive timer that starts when you remove your hands and stops when you place your hands back on.
Make sure you know how to start the timer, make sure you know the penalties, and just have fun. If you misalign the cube by off move, they add 2 seconds to your time. If you misalign it by more than one move, then it's a DNF since it did not finish. And that can kind of affect your average.
Aaron wasn't always a competitive cuber, starting about 3 years ago with the help of some YouTube videos and friends.
A while ago, I was watching this video on YouTube how to solve the Rubik's Cube in 2 moves. It didn't work, so I bought one to try it out. It didn't work, and I was pretty mad. Then, a week later, I saw one of my friends could do it, and I wanted to do it, so I looked up a video. Took a lot of time, and I could do it.
Aaron works very hard, practicing 2 to 4 hours a day, and competitions usually last 8 hours. He is continuing his hard work, attempting to beat his time and become a better cuber.
I just want to get world class, so that's what I'm aiming for.
While Aaron does well competitively, he does enjoy playing against his friends.
Probably a week. When I saw them again, we raced, and I beat them every single time.
For BTV, I'm Donovan Powell.
That's very impressive. Thank you, Donovan. I definitely can't solve a Rubik's Cube like that. Now here's Connor with our other impressive athletes.
Hello, Bus. Welcome back to BTV Sports. I'm your host, Connor Inlow. The boys basketball starts the season off 1-4 by looking to improve their record as the season goes on. This past weekend, the boys won the Valley Center tournament against Shawnee Mission East 71-59. Make sure to come out and support. Girls basketball, their season just started and has gone well. The girls are doing 6-3 with a positive record going forward. The girls have a home game this past Thursday. We don't have the scores for this, but as it was written before the game, but we do have video. Come check out the Southeast boys and girls basketball team. The swim team has made several wins in the many events and is placed in several meets as the season continues. They have won their first at their invite and so far dominated over 3 teams and still continues to dominate. The team has been progressing over the few swimmers have achieved state time for qualifiers. The team has been growing as well as the effort achieved to make a huge success. These boys have put their talent and determination to keep the team going as they bond through the season. Boys and girls wrestling has a senior night Thursday with meeting 5 of our very own wrestling. They are looking to end the season with more wins and a positive record. The season has been going on for a while now, and it's looking like it's coming to an end with a lot of new wrestlers showing off their talent. Amin, a senior, is looking for a state qualifier spot just like this past season. Also, our very own Officer Howard has been selected into the WSU Basketball Hall of Fame. He finished his career with 1,571 points, 711 rebounds, 263 assists, and 153 steals and 88 blocks. Bowling just started, so make sure to come out and support. For BTV, I'm Connor Inlow.
Last semester, we sent a couple of students to Washington, D.C. for the National High School Journalism Association. We entered Buckley Easley's story, which was featured in episode 2 of BTV. The story received the second highest rating, placing third in the country in their category. We want to congratulate our fellow students Shay Gennari, Sam Greer, and Maddie Brown. We leave you with some sights and sounds from the Washington, D.C. trip.
Before he became a Broadway star, was already the poster boy of the $10 bill, and that's still true. The night before he became president, paying a room rate of about $2.50 that night. Many years later, it's also where Dr. King stayed. Big reading like the Supreme Court and other buildings. This one not looking very photogenic this fall. All right, everybody, so we are climbing Capitol Hill now. Now, everyone knows it by that name today, but that was not yet the case. Obviously, as far back as 1790, when D.C. was just getting it started as a town. Back in those days, everything over here on the right was private.